Coming up, the Astros start the second half of the season with a doubleheader sweep of the Yankees. This is Locked On Now MLB.
The biggest games, the best performances, expert analysis. You are Locked On Now.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Now MLB, local experts weighing in on the biggest stories in baseball. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. We've got our Locked On MLB hosts here ready to recap the first games of the second half of the season. The Astros got a pair of wins Thursday in yesterday's biggest games.
The biggest game.
The Houston Astros beat the best team in baseball twice on Thursday, winning the first game in a walk-off and holding off the Yankees' rally in the second one. Locked On Astros has the story after a big day between a pair of contenders.
The Astros win. The Astros win. The Astros win. That's right. They win 2 games. Twin billing, twin killing. That's right. Sweeping the Yankees out of town as we set our eyes on the Mariners of Seattle. Yordan Alvarez, he's back. That's right. We win 7-5. The good guys win. The evil empire goes home wounded on a 2-game losing streak. Stay tuned to Locked On Astros and make sure you check out all the details on my latest episode covering both games as I experienced them in person live. Met several fans, and thank you so much for tuning in to Locked On Astros. We're your team every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you listen to us on Apple, Google, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. And as we always say, bury me in the H, go Stros.
The Dodgers jumped out to a big lead and beat the Giants in the first game at Dodger Stadium since hosting the All-Star Game. Locked On Dodgers recaps the win over their division rivals.
As the old 80s sitcom said, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have Thursday night's game between the Dodgers and the Giants. What's up? It's Jeff from Locked On Dodgers. The Dodgers had a 5-0 lead. Mitch White was held the Giants hitless through 5 innings, got pulled after allowing a hit to lead off the 6th inning. Caleb Ferguson came in and pitched really well. Unfortunately, the following relievers did not. Phil Bickford, Alex Vesia, and Evan Phillips. Well, Bickford and Vesia combined to blow the 5-0 lead. Evan Phillips came in with a 5-5 game, gave up a run to let the Giants go up 6-5. And then the Dodgers turned on the magic, ended up winning 9-6, a game-tying triple by Trace Thompson, and then a 3-run home run to put the Dodgers up by Mookie Betts. Huge game, huge win. You know, it's different than the big wins they've had. It wasn't a comeback win. It was a get-it-back win after blowing a big lead. But it was what the Dodgers needed. It was huge, and it was a really, really good response to a bad bullpen performance. And hopefully we won't get too many more of those bad bullpen performances, but we'll keep the good responses. Vince will be with you tomorrow morning to talk a little bit about this game, and then I sat down with Justin from Future Dodgers to talk all about the Dodgers 2022 draft. So check out Locked On Dodgers first thing in the morning. Make us your first listen.
The San Francisco Giants didn't get a hit until the 6th inning in a loss to the Dodgers. Locked On Giants tells you why San Fran fell flat to start out things after the break.
Giants come all the way back after trailing 5-0. Darren Ruff with a game-tying grand slam. They go ahead in the next inning, and then they lose in heartbreaking fashion regardless. Ben Kaspick with the Locked On Giants podcast. This is a gut punch of a game for the San Francisco Giants. On the one hand, you love the fact that they were able to come back. The Ruff grand slam was a truly exhilarating moment and so improbable, but things that have been a problem for the Giants all season showed up in this game. The bullpen gave up some critical runs there in the 8th inning, Dom Leone and Harleen Garcia, and the defense was sloppy, especially early. Luis Gonzalez lost a ball in the twilight, which you can't really blame a guy for that. If you can't see it, you can't catch it. It was just really kind of an unfortunate moment for Carlos Rodon and the Giants and their defense at large. So they still look like a team that could use some help as the trade deadline approaches. It's really less than 2 weeks away at this point. And the big name out there, of course, is Juan Soto. And so we're covering that situation closely on Locked On Giants. I think if he truly is available, then the Giants legitimately should and will be involved in that pursuit. So we'll break all of this down on tomorrow's Locked On Giants, where it's your team every day.
That's all for today on Locked On Now MLB. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. Now make sure you check out Locked On MLB and your team's Locked On podcast. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Now.